Jalen Marquise Brunson.
Marquise, that kills me.
Yo, man.
He's the dude, man.
He is the
He's so good.
dude.
He's so good. He's so good.
He's so good.
He's so
Dad.
good.
Welcome to He Did This To Me, the sports podcast from a father and son who happen to be mostly optimistic Knicks, Mets, and Jets fans. My name is Nick, a.k.a. Goody, and with me is my old man, a.k.a. the big guy, Noel. And just like his name, all we do is win. Let's get to the show. It's time to begin. New York Knicks, they punched their ticket to the final of the in-season tournament. They will not be playing the Oklahoma City Thunder, as many thought that they would.
Wow.
Wemby comes back from the injury, plays limited minutes, but has a huge impact. And on Tuesday, the final, you got Knicks versus Spurs. Talk to me, big guy. How are you feeling about our Knicks?
I'm very happy with what I saw last night, what I've seen the last few games, frankly, last 10 games. They've been fantastic. And, they're playing the ball the right way. Mike Brown has definitely made a difference. The entire team, I can see improvement in almost every player. I really do. I see improvement in almost every player. And player improvement in the team as a whole. Watched that game last night with the Wemby game. Your son and I watched the game together. And, that guy, he's just unbelievable. The latter part of the game, the latest part of the game, where he came up big. I was he's an impressive player, and we have a lot to talk about who covers Wemby.
We'll get to that.
Right.
We'll get to that. But I do want to talk about, some of the differences that we're seeing under Mike Brown, and specifically here recently when it comes to the much criticized, very, very polarizing player that is Karl Anthony Towns.
Right.
Karl Anthony Towns, I'm telling you, Dad, there's going to be, at some point later in the season, we're going to get some sort of expose or some sort of, article about some sort of like sit down that happened with probably, I think that it's very likely it would be a guy like Bridges, and somehow, some way, someone has gotten through the cat and just said, hey, guy, get your hands up. Get your hands up.
Right, at the very least.
And it totally changes everything. And be a little bit more anticipatory and able to get into, your spot defensively just a hair earlier. And when you see things like this from a player who has had this issue his entire career, you wonder, is this a mirage? Is this just some momentary thing? But now we're about 4 or 5 games, really since that Boston game, which is the one game that we've lost in the last 10. And since that game, it seems like Cat has turned over a new leaf. And if he is going to become a plus defender, it totally changes everything about the trajectory of this team.
Oh, yeah. I mean, listen. There's a chance that with Cat, okay, like you say, get your hands up, little subtle changes like that. He doesn't have to become some amazing, he's not going to become OG, okay? None of that's going to happen. But little simple things like getting his hands up and moving his feet a little bit more can make such a huge difference. Like I say to you all the time, like it or not, you're 7 foot tall and you can walk and chew gum on a basketball court. If you're a man of his athleticism, which is not great, he should get at least 9 rebounds a game, and everything above that's gravy. You know what I'm saying? He's 7 foot tall. He can play some of the defense he plays just because of his sheer size, if he just makes some subtle adjustments, and then it's all mental to me after that. Yeah. It's all mental. Yeah. And I feel like if he sees and can feel the difference he's making by doing that. I'm feeling like he's getting that a little bit now. He feels the difference that he's making when he does this and how much more valuable it is. He feels the difference that he's making when he's not committing as many stupid fouls. He feels the difference that he's making for the team when he's not complaining to the refs as vociferously. You see a difference in him, and I don't know, maybe it's you and I wishful thinking, but I'm hoping it's real.
I think it's real because not only has it been 4 or 5 games, but it's been a certain consistency to those things that were his major deficiencies his entire career. And it just, I don't know, like you said, it's mostly mental. Somebody has gotten through to this guy. Somebody has finally figured out a way to explain it to him. I could tell you, even just from coaching like small kids, one of the things you have to learn as a coach is you're explaining something to somebody and you're explaining it to them how you know is the exact way that it needs to be explained, and if they could just listen to you. And sometimes you just have to figure out a different way on how to say that. And you have to continue to come up with different ways. Yeah. And then all of a sudden for the player, it clicks. Yeah. And I don't know how all the great coaches this guy's been around, it seems like it took Mike Brown and his staff and, a quarter of this season for them to be able to get it through to him. But it seems like it has. And Cat he's second in the NBA in double-doubles. We talked about his size, but beyond his size, he's an elite defensive rebounder, and he seems like he's been, giving a little bit more of an impact on the offensive glass here as well, and he's been extremely efficient. It's crazy how we look at him and we're like, is he going to make the All-Star team this year? Is he, Cat's having such a down year, and you take a step back and you look at his stats, and it's like, 22 and 12, and, he's having games like last night where he's scoring 29 points on 11 attempts. He's 9 of 11 from the field. Like I said, he's second in double-doubles behind only Joker. The guy is still having a huge season, and the shooting is starting to come around. He's shooting very well from the free throw line. I think he was 10 of 11 last night. Mm-hmm. And, that the shooting's coming back. And, you see a guy like his size, and on the break, you kick it to him, he's just like, quick pull-up, boom. Or in the corner as he's falling out of bounds, like hitting threes. It's just such a huge weapon. And if he's more controlled going to the basket, the passing game is crazy underrated. He's throwing amazing. That pass yesterday, that bounce pass to Bridges, where he went around his man and gave him the bounce, and it's Bridges just being a layup. We'll talk about Bridges and his cutting to the basket, which has been phenomenal. Fantastic. But Cat, man, he got the Timbs last night. He got the Timbs last night. Everybody wanted to see between him and Brunson who's going to be the first person who's going to get a defensive player of the game from Mike Woodson. Well, the answer is Cat, and I'm telling you, there's more in the future. He's turned over a new leaf. He's a serious problem, and he needs to be the center of the New York Knicks for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, I've come around and definitely believe that. I never thought we should, make a trade for Giannis and all that necessarily.
Never?
No, I never thought that, yes, let's go do it. I thought that I was open to talking about it. But I'm at the point now where I'm not really open to talking about it because I feel like, you make changes and you roll with it. There's no reason not to make a change. You can't just have somebody show you something and now you got to go lunging for that. You got to see what this team's got. And listen, if they win this game Tuesday night, like I said,
should they hang a banner if they win?
Well, every team hangs a banner. The league wants you to hang a banner, so you're going to hang a banner.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? And listen, there's nothing to be ashamed of. People want to say that. That's bullshit. Listen, if there's any kind of tournament and there's something to win, you want to win. And listen, I don't care how much money you make. I don't care which player on that team makes the most money. OG probably. If you get an extra $500,000, come on, man. Come on. If that doesn't matter to you, you're not handling your money right.
Right.
If you think you're like that, then you got a problem, and you're headed for the poorhouse. No, it's a good competition. I definitely see. I think people who just want to act like, oh well, yeah, it does make a difference. It's stupid and all that. Listen, the league is an entertainment industry. They're always going to try a way to sell and sell more. Anybody who says that they don't see a difference in the games and the energy in the games is lying. It's there.
It's built steam over time, I think.
I think it's built steam. I noticed it last year. I noticed it this year.
I definitely noticed it this year. That when the Knicks had the game against Toronto earlier in the week, that game was rocking for sure. Yeah. And there's definitely an added intensity to the fans, to the players. I also think that the NBA coverage this year, though it's on a million different places, it's better than just ESPN and TNT, I believe. I just feel like they're doing a better job of making all the content around it more basketball geared as opposed to just like, I feel like it was a little more shtick before with
TNT and with. What do you mean? You were getting tired of Ernie and the guys?
I just think that I don't think they.
Well, it's still Ernie and the guys,
but I don't think that they do a lot of an. I like that there's more options first and foremost. I don't think that they do a ton of like actual basketball analysis. I think they do more kind of just like talking shit and talking about back when they played. And I think that like Stephen A. Smith being out is a good thing as well. And I think that the teams that have been brought in, both the NBC team and also the Amazon team. Both of them are just a little bit more geared on like talking the ins and outs of basketball as opposed to just like, kind of talking shit. I think that there is a want for that. I mean, like, things move in waves, and now we're kind of pushing away from like this whole, we just want like, hot takes all the time. I think more so it's more like analysis of the game. And I enjoy that part of it. And, even I'm a person who's a lot of times, and at one point last night when we were watching the game, I was like, what is this stupid angle? And then there was another play where there was that angle, and I think Brunson threw an oop to Mitch, and it was like, that was pretty cool to watch from that angle.
Listen, they're always trying something new. I mean, there's always trying to step the game up, push the envelope, all that. So, I mean, why not? I don't love that angle either, but I get what you're saying. The production has been decent. Would I rather hear Breen and Clyde or Breen and whoever on every game? Of course. But
I could do
those days are over. It's over.
Sure. And I know sometimes it's frustrating where I watch a post game and I realize that MSG did the game as well, and I just I can't watch it. I can't listen to it.
There are times that I'm absolutely perplexed by that, and I find myself at halftime checking, the NBA and
the different streams,
and seeing oh no, it's only on Amazon or NBC.
So I have the NBA Network through, I should say, I have the single team league pass through Amazon Prime this year. It was better than getting it with the NBA app because with my Vizio TV, they don't have that. You can't get the NBA app, so now I'm casting it for my phone. It was just too much. It was ridiculous.
Wow.
But the thing that I don't love about Prime though is that I don't get the MSG feed. If I'll get I get like the in arena feed. So when the commentary is on, I'm getting Clyde and Breen as long as it's like a game that's not on one of the main ESPN, Amazon, whatever. But I only get that in arena feed, which sometimes can be great because like watching the Knicks kids play basketball and some of those different things, some of the stupid shit that happens in the breaks can be okay. But I kind of wish that I was getting back to the studio with like Bill Pito and Wally Zerbiak.
That's what I always want. I always want Pito and Wally. So yeah, that's my go-to.
I know, I like Wally, man. I would prefer Wally as my backup play-by-play. I'm not and my backup color guy over Novak. I've seen a lot of people praise Novak.
Novak's okay. Novak's decent, but he's not
very
as good as
dry.
Wally. I don't think he's necessarily. I like Alan Hahn, man. I think Hahn's good too.
Yeah. I don't know. See, the thing about Hahn though is he's got too many other jobs.
No, please. If he could be that, he would cut the other jobs to have.
You would cut that over the radio job?
To be the Knicks play well. To be Clyde's caddy, maybe not, but to be the guy. Yeah, I think he might. Once Clyde steps down and Alan Hahn could be the guy at Knicks games, dude. If you've heard him talk about it, there's absolutely no way he would pass that up.
I know, but
And what he's with Don Hahn and Rosenberg?
I wonder what the difference in money in those two gigs is.
Come on, he's got to get paid more to be the Knicks and a color analyst. Come on, man.
It's not a 5-day-a-week job, though.
I know, that's true, and it's not around the year job or year-round job.
And it's not. Listen, whether or not Alan Hahn is in that seat, it's not going to change how much, ad revenue MSG is able to bring in for those games. Whereas,
right.
Whether or not you're the winning, afternoon drive time show in New York radio, that's a huge difference as far as and I think they are. Your boy Craigie Carton's coming back. He's coming back.
Yeah, I know.
I know you don't like Carton. I like Carton.
I'm not a fan.
I'm not as much.
Who's he going to be with? Oh, he's going to be with Chris McGonigal.
Yeah, that's. But I don't know if that's been 100% confirmed.
I think I read that, but I I don't know. I won't be listening.
I wish they would get him in there with Boomer again. I've never watched any of like Craig's like solo shows on FX or anything like that consistently.
Yeah.
I used to be a very, very loyal listener of, him and Boomer back before, he got himself in trouble. But
He got pinched.
yeah, and I not only do I dislike Gio, like overall, I just don't find him to be that entertaining. I actually like have zero respect for the guy for the way he like talks about some of these athletes sometimes. Where last year he's talking about Karl Anthony Towns, he's like he's a loser, like, and it's just like this guy is one of the best in the world in an overall profession that is extremely specialized, and such a small amount of people are able to actually even get to that level. And he's one of the best in that. And you're calling this guy a loser? I just thought that was heavy-handed. And I just think Gio's a dick. Kind of. He's not for me.
No, I'm not a fan. But now they're gonna bump Tiki and Evan down to the afternoon. The only problem with me for me is when I do work from home.
So what, they start at 10 a.m. now? They're at midday?
They're going to be the 10 to 2.
That's not what they are now? No, Brandon Tierney and Sal Licata.
Right, and Brandon Tierney and Sal Licata are just out.
They're just both out.
With that WFAN, yeah, they got bounced. Yeah. So I'm not sure what they do. I would imagine Licata's still going to be on SNY, and Tierney, they both seem like they got things going on. I listened to their farewell show the other day because I do listen to those shows while I'm home from work. But now I'm going to have conflict with Evan and Tiki early on, and Bart Scott and Carlin.
See, the last time that I really liked one of the New York daily shows was when it was Bart Scott and Alan Hahn. And
Bart and Hahn was great.
And that was the first one that I'd really like listened to like almost every day for a while.
Carlin's pretty good.
No, I can't do Carlin. I can't.
No, I like Carlin.
He's such a just a whining, just like everything's always he's not for me.
And I like Evan.
Yo, speaking of great, New York, daily radio guys. What is up with my guy, Mad Dog Russo, and that attempt at the half-court shot in the ASU gym? What was that? He must have like a kid who goes to ASU or some shit. But
that was like the most spaz attempt. And the thing is, people say he's very good at tennis. So I don't understand how he's so good at tennis, and he can't do better at just that. It was literally just throwing a basketball overhand. Literally, if you didn't make it to the basket, you could have done 1,000 times better than what he did. I mean, what he did looked like he was having a convulsion.
He didn't look as if he could run. I mean, he looked like he honestly looked like he has some sort of disability. And I'm not no disrespect to anybody, or anything like that. I'm not saying, but I'm saying, watch the clip.
Right.
This is what this guy looked
like.
It's
alarming.
I mean,
I don't know. It almost looked like he was doing slapstick.
Right.
And he wasn't.
Right. He looked like he was like it was like a scene in Seinfeld and he was Kramer. Kramer was doing some shit like that.
Right. Doing some Kramer with the shoes on.
With the shoes.
With the bouncy shoes on.
Yeah, the shoes. Listen, don't just listen to Jimmy. You can listen to me. The shoes worked.
The shoes worked.
I got the strength shoes. I was next to our house, running up and sprinting up a hill, and they
shoes.
Absolutely added to my overall explosion and to my vertical. It's a fact. The one time in my life that I could, dunk a basketball, not consistently, but occasionally.
It's got to be the shoes.
It was just after having those shoes, 100%. Strength shoes they were called back in the day.
Strength shoes.
Strength shoes.
What's his name? This guy, Mad Dog.
Get you a dad who's out there willing to get you the strength shoes.
You know what I'm saying?
And trying to when you're out there chasing your hoop dreams.
But you know what I think with Dog. I mean, dude, man, you almost have to. Well, listen, has Dog ever thrown out a first pitch?
I wouldn't think so after seeing that.
Be terrible at it after seeing that.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine that he's never been asked to do that. Him or Mike.
Yeah, I mean,
one of them's got to have thrown out a first pitch. If not, it's because they refuse to do it. Because they've been asked. There's no way
I know for a fact that Francesa hasn't.
Has not?
Has not. I feel like.
But my point is, if he has not, it's because he's refused to do so. Because they've been asked or invited, 100%.
No, Russo's never.
They've been asked or invited. They said no, and now we know why.
He's never thrown out a first pitch. But
we know why.
But when I search Mad Dog Russo first pitch, when I search it, it's everything is just about this shot. Didn't even come close. Worst half court shot in basketball history. Right. He doesn't. If the ball landed at the foul line, but he just the
ball
took a if he just
right. The ball. Did the ball get to the 3-point line? I don't know what happened.
It doesn't matter where.
I don't know what happened. The ball went off screen.
It was bad, man. It was really bad.
I've never seen anything like that.
I honestly, I don't know.
He can never throw a first pitch.
Yeah, no. He should be. No one should be close by when he's throwing any object. I mean, everybody is. They could. His legs and arms are akimbo. They could.
He was definitely akimbo. He was the poster child for akimbo. Oh, 1,000%. Good word usage there, young man.
No, that was super embarrassing. But let's give a little bit of concentration back to the Knicks. We're gonna get to some of the other players, but we have to take a second and we have to talk about our guy, the savior, your boy Jalen Marquise Brunson.
Marquise, that kills me.
Yo, man,
he's the dude, man.
He is the fucking
he's so good.
Dude.
He's so good. He's so good.
He's so good.
He's so good.
He's so good. He's so consistently good. I don't stop with this, who's the best player? Him, Cade Cunningham, Tyrese Maxey. I heard mad people were talking about how Ben Caro is the best player on the floor and everything, and it's just did you watch the game? What are we talking about?
Ben Caro's very good. And I mean, listen, you know what? If Ben Caro was half as good as Jalen Rose at 6'10", he would be I'm sorry,
the original
Jalen Brunson, right? Jalen Brunson, he would be unstoppable. And listen, Ben Caro's very good, very, very good. I love his game. But if you're asking, listen, there's not many players in the league right now who I would say I would want running my team, being the leader of my team, both in ability, playing wise, demeanor, everything.
Yeah,
better than Jalen Rose.
Why do you keep calling him Jalen Rose?
Jalen Rose.
Jesus.
I would. The only player I can think of, maybe really off the top of my head, Nick, is SGA.
Yeah. Because SGA is a better two-way player too. Listen,
you have to take SGA over Brunson. But besides that, seriously,
I don't know, man.
Even then, I might say I'm good where I'm at.
And he's just so made for New York, too.
Right?
He's just so made for New York, and just the thing I love about Brunson is how much I enjoy his game. I got myself to a point where I was a huge supporter, and I enjoyed Julius Randle's game.
Yeah.
It's not Brunson's game is beautiful. It's beautiful to watch.
Beautiful.
It's artwork. It's artwork, and it's a great game to a great player to have of your favorite team when your son is probably going to be around 6 feet tall and has some hoop dreams of his own, just to give him this shining example of you can do anything if you work on your game.
Yeah.
And I mean, this guy has just done so much work on his game. You see every single year, you see him start to put some more, range on his three. Now you see this year, the right hand has gotten much better, and he's making quicker and better decisions. Obviously, Mike Brown has gotten through. He's gotten through to these guys about a certain way to play. And you see it from Brunson. You definitely see it from a guy like Bridges and Hart. And now we're starting to see it from Cat as well. OG's doing his thing. This Knicks team, we're moving in the right direction.
Absolutely.
We're looking like a team that is definitely going to be the favorite to come out of the East. And a team that nobody can sleep on. And I'm real interested to see as we get into the season, we start to play some of these teams out west, how we measure up. And that starts on Tuesday.
Yeah, tomorrow night. Well, Tuesday night's going to be something, man. It's going to be, man. I'm really looking forward to that. And can I talk about Wemby now? Knicks versus Wemby. Yeah.
Well, who guards Wemby?
Well, Nazi and I were talking about that last night. I mean, you may just have to start out with Cat on him. I mean, literally. Now, I would think Wemby's going to start this next game. Okay, they're not going to play this minutes foolishness with him anymore. Whether they do or not. Whether they do or not, you know he's going to play enough minutes. and he's going to be a factor. And you got to worry about guarding him, but like we spoke about earlier in the game, these other guys, Vassell and Castle, are huge.
Castle and Vassell.
Same difference. They're a huge issue. Oh my goodness, they're really good.
So with Wemby, I think that you have obviously Cat and Mitch playing, but this is a thing that I'm, interested to see when it comes to Mike Brown, because it's one of the things that I thought that Tibbs did a really good job of last year, all the time, but specifically against the Spurs on that Christmas Day game, was he late in the game all of a sudden just deployed OG on Wemby.
Yeah.
So that's
Change
what
it
I'm.
up on him.
So yeah, like you can't let him
Change
get
it
used to
up on
OG being on him all the time.
No.
But then just boom, and you don't want to give OG that type of responsibility for extended minutes.
No.
But at the end of the game, just throw OG on him, and now he's got a totally different look. But I actually think that Cat is about as good of a matchup for Wemby, just because one of the things Cat does is he stays on his feet. So he's just got to listen. Personally, if Wemby's taking threes, I'm okay with that.
Yeah. He doesn't, but the thing is with Wemby is he seems to have gotten it figured out, Nick, that he's not taking as many threes. And he's not, and he there's a lot of threes that he could take that he doesn't take.
No.
And he puts it on the ground, and he's getting a lot smarter about that this season from what I see.
Yeah. And I also think that, Cat being such an elite defensive rebounder, one of the ways that Wemby really hurts you is with his offensive rebounding. So I think that, when you have Mitchell in the game, Mitch is not as good of a defensive rebounder.
No.
Now the offensive rebounding from Wemby makes you nervous, but then on the other end, he's got to, Wemby now has to really pay attention and can't be as much of just a roamer when he's on defense and trying to block every shot, because then if you don't block it, or even if you do, Mitch is cleaning up all those offensive boards. So it'll be interesting. I think we got more than a few people to be able to throw at him. You need a good game out of Mitch. You need Mitch to have that level of engagement, which I don't see there being a way that he doesn't come with that level of engagement against a guy like Wemby.
Yeah,
we have seen
we
have seen that, kind of come and go a little bit here recently with Mitch. We need Mitch to be a little bit more consistent.
You throw everybody at him. Everybody's got to be full go. I'm saying you might even throw a couple minutes of Huck Porty at him. Just to throw minutes at him. And, fouls are not a problem, man. You go 100% against this guy. Don't hold back.
I hope we don't see too much of Porty, because I think that means that, Cat's in foul trouble or some shit.
Well, I think, I think you run Cat for some minutes. Mitch could easily get some foul trouble. But anyway, it's going to be an interesting game, man. And like I said, they have a lot of players besides Wemby who are going to be an issue.
Yeah, and Cat is one of the few players who truthfully can pull Wemby away from the basket,
right.
On offense when he's the center and he has to guard him. It'll be interesting to see if they actually do put him on Cat, if they try to put him on Josh Hart,
right.
Or whatever the case may be. But when it comes to these guys, Castle and Vassell, they got to deal with Wingstop and Josh Hart, who have all been playing fantastic defense.
Fantastic.
Their ability to help and recover, and their ability to help right at the point where a guy either dribbles into the middle or is going for a shot, whether it be Bridges playing somebody at the top of the key, reaches back, blocks your shot, or if you dribble the ball or play with it at all in any way around OG, he's diving for that thing and he's snatching it away. And then we're moving it in transition. Ball might not touch the floor and we're getting a layup or a dunk.
Yeah.
The ability recently, Tyler Kolek had a piece of that yesterday where he makes the pass ahead to Josh Hart. Josh Hart gets the layup. He steals the inbound, immediately throws the no look to Bridges. Bridges is right there, puts it up for the finger roll. Bridges, that finger roll finishing lately, high off the glass, whatever, has
fantastic.
Been on point. And it's going to be a really, really interesting game. I feel like this Knicks team is really hitting its stride. The San Antonio team, whenever they have Wemby, has been extremely impressive. We both have the same record, 18-7, and we get to
still
go
a lot
at
of
each
season
other.
left to go, though. I mean, we're going to have our ups and downs.
Of course,
of course
we're
gonna, and I still think we can get better when we get back Shaman and whatnot. I think and believe that Leon Rose is going to stand pat. Deuce too. Yeah, we could really be using Deuce, but I mean, he's the ankle, but he'll be back and we'll be all right.
Yeah. The thing that makes me a little bit nervous about Deuce is we've seen in previous years that when he comes back from an injury, sometimes it takes him a little while to kind of get it going
and he was
again.
Playing so well.
I mean,
best of his career,
shooting the absolute lights out.
Wow.
And making plays on defense. And he gets the ankle sprain. It seems like anytime Orlando plays the Knicks, it ends up being some sort of injury for somebody.
Right.
I'm glad that this guy Franz Wagner isn't out for the season like it looked like on that day.
Right.
And this is turning into a little bit of a rivalry, between the Knicks and the
got a good young
Magic.
team
And I like
down
it.
there.
This
They
guy
play
Desmond
hard.
Bane, some of these finishes yesterday with like the left finger roll shit. It's like, how is this guy?
Yeah.
When did he get this good? I know Desmond Bane has been a
Is
player.
he the most improved player?
I think that Desmond Bane was, he was kind of showing
good,
he's that guy
man.
last
He wasn't
season.
this good. Holy smokes!
Last
And
season
his outside,
he was-
his 3-point jumper is like
his jumper's wet. His jumper's wet. Yeah, no. Desmond Bane he's on the come
up
I mean,
big
if he's your third best player.
Yeah.
Which, if you're Orlando, you got to feel like Franz Wagner and Banchero are both, really good, all NBA level type players. Desmond Bane, you could argue he's just as good and just as valuable as either of those guys.
Who are you
Honestly,
willing to give up on the Knicks for Desmond Bane? Kolek and Deuce.
what are you talking about? Of course I would do that. Are you kidding me?
course.
There's no way that they would do that. I mean, honestly,
How
I'm
about
sorry.
Mitchell, Kolek, and Deuce?
That's close to that. I think so, though, maybe. Honestly, I think that we'd have to give up like a Josh Hart, you know what I mean, to get like a Desmond Bane.
Yeah.
And
that would be stupid.
I think it would, because I think that Desmond Bane is a better player than Josh Hart, but I think that
He's a better scorer, but Josh Hart's an intangible guy.
no, I think Desmond Bane is just 1 versus 1. They're a much better player. I think that Josh Hart is a better fit, and I think that
Right. Josh Hart's a
having
better
these
fit.
guys around who are Brunson's good friends that he's known since college. I think that's a good thing.
And they play the game like they're flipping the Globetrotters together sometimes.
Yeah.
That makes a different shit. They're doing shit that comes from doing this together tens of thousands of times together.
Yeah,
There's just no way around that.
absolutely.
You see it absolutely with the three of them. You know? I mean, yeah. It's incredible.
And Brunson is a legitimate superstar, and when you have a legitimate superstar, you might have to make his dad a coach, and you might have to bring his friends to the team. Like, that's what it is. Like, and
But
there's nothing wrong
it's
with
not.
that.
No. But see, don't make it. Listen. First of all, his dad being a coach. Yeah, I mean, I would think that Mike Brown gets some positives out of it. But it's
Yeah, but there's no way he would be an assistant coach on the team if not for him being Jalen Brunson's father.
Well, yeah, okay.
Let's be serious. Let's be
Why?
serious.
So you're saying once Jalen Brunson, if Jalen Brunson stopped playing,
Yo, we lost a draft pick for this shit, yo. We lost a draft pick for this shit.
Why?
For this whole for the
because of tampering. That was
the tampering.
bullshit. That was bullshit.
I mean, listen, I'm sorry, but yeah, I mean, I think that's clear, and I think that's.
So you think
okay.
he won't ever assistant coach anywhere else, or never
I'm not
will
saying
be
that.
a head coach?
I'm not saying that. I think that
Will Rick Brunson ever be a head coach in the NBA? That's a good
a
question.
head coach, no, because I don't think he would go be a head coach for another team, and I don't think he's going to be a head coach for the Knicks. I don't think he's ever going to be the Knicks
I
head
think
coach.
he could be head coach for the Knicks, like, if the Knicks crash and burn this year or something, and then like Mike Brown gets fired midway through next year. That could happen. That's not exactly what I'm
That's
asking.
possible. I don't think Leon Rose is that stupid. I think that would just put way too much pressure on everybody involved.
It wouldn't be good. It wouldn't be good.
No, I don't see that, and I think that.
But it's not like keeping Thanasis on the team like with Josh Hart and Bridges. Because these guys are real legitimate players, you know what I mean? It's not like, you're just keeping his friends on the team.
Hey, and they traded Dante, and Dante's probably the one he's closest to out of all of them.
Right.
He's like in his wedding and shit.
Exactly.
So they traded Dante when the time was right. But I think that when it comes to Rick Brunson, he has a relationship with Tibbs. There's no way that he stays on and then joins Mike Brown's staff. Unless nobody else from Tibbs' staff
Maybe
stayed
he
on.
interviews with
Actually, Mo Cheek stayed on.
Right, that's
Mo
what I'm
Cheeks.
saying. Mo Cheeks stayed on, and what's his name
But
stayed on? The
I
big
don't-
man coach,
he
Mark
didn't-
Bryant.
He did
3 guys, Nick.
He did not interview.
3 guys from the
did not
older team stayed on, so it wasn't just about
He
him being
didn't
the dad.
interview Rick Brunson. When he was
Did
told
he
when he
interview-
took
did
the
he
job
interview
that
the other
Rick Brunson
guys?
will be staying on as an assistant
Did
coach.
he interview the other 3 guys?
Maybe I think so. I don't know.
Oh,
You
so
know
Rick
what?
runs
I don't know.
like that.
I don't know because
he's part of the offer.
I think one of the reasons that Mike Brown is the current head coach of the Knicks is that he has a relationship with, Leon Rose and the entire brass where they sometimes dictate or at least, influence his decisions. The thing just came out recently that he goes through like a whole like lineup, chart and like and I think that that's a good thing. I think that's fine.
I don't think that's the problem at all. I don't care.
Clearly, Mike Brown is much more into collaborating with his assistant coaches and getting their opinions.
And the front office and tips, no doubt.
That's a fact.
No doubt. But I don't care at all that he's doing that because they're winning. Nick, that's the whole thing. If they were losing, if they were playing below our expectations, we would have criticisms about just about everything.
Sure.
We'd be saying, this guy doesn't even know what he's doing. He's got to talk to the front office and da-da-da-da. We'd be ripping them about something. They could they were like, 5-17.
Oh, of course.
We'd be losing our minds
with this type of talent, but no, that's not the
So?
case. And then, what's up with your boy though, Jordan Clarkson, man?
Jordan Clarkson has been off for the last few days. My man Jack.
The last few days, he's shooting like 30% from three for the season.
Yeah, no, but I mean, listen, Jack's gonna be all right.
It's gonna be all right.
He's gonna be all right. I like his moxie, and I like.
Would you trade him for Jose Alvarado?
You keep bringing up this guy Alvarado. I don't know
Alvarado.
Everybody says I think baseball player.
Big Nick Energy is saying that around the 15th, which is tomorrow, we're going to be making that move.
Wow,
guys, he's a New York guy. He's a New York guy, Dominican kid.
Oh, okay. I don't know this guy really, but I love the sound of that. I feel bad though if Clarkson gets traded because I feel like Clarkson has embraced the role. But hey man. If he gets traded, we hardly knew you.
Can't get rid of Clarkson. You need somebody who
is
an initiator, a ball handler, and a guy who, he's obviously going through a bit of a rough patch right now.
That happens.
But
he's a guy.
It's going to be
fine.
up and down with him, yes. And it's going to be more up than down. And hopefully it's going to be up in,
in some
in
big
April
games,
and May and June.
Yes.
And
he's that kind of guy.
Yeah, no, you can't. I would not get rid of Clarkson.
No.
I don't think that they're just going to totally punt on the Clarkson experience just yet, but it is an experience. I'll say that it's definitely an experience. There's times where he does shit. Where it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But and come
he's
on,
a risk
hit
taker.
your free throws.
He's a risk taker.
Oh yes, absolutely.
But that's part of what makes
flies
him
by the
good.
seat of his pants for sure.
Oh, yeah.
But when he gets into the paint, man, he seems to be
real good
pretty
at finishing.
He just got to get the shot going, and he's got to be smart on defense. But yeah, no, hey, we're lucky enough that we have a team where we can deal with Clarkson not being his best. We need Deuce back. Landry Shamet, I'm still worried about him because I feel like it could be like a Julius situation where they keep saying like 4 weeks. Okay, well now 2 more weeks, and all of a sudden it's like he's getting surgery. You clearly that guy is doing everything he can to try to get back with the team. So there might be some doctors telling him, hey man, you should probably get surgery. And like one doctor says like, well, if things go well and blah blah blah. Now he's like, all right, well fuck it, let's go. And hey, I love him for that. Again, another guy who was playing so well before he goes down. But all he was doing was running through a pick, and that happened. So how does he avoid that?
Right. Listen, if you come back and it's not totally together, it's not going to work. Right?
And it's not going to be totally together.
It's not
It's not going
going to.
to be totally together. There's not this shoulder. He's had 2 major dislocations with his shoulder. It's not going to be totally together until he has surgery. He's just obviously trying to avoid that.
Yeah.
Alvarado, everybody talks about, the Knicks being interested in him. Obviously, New Orleans is in a place where they are looking to just blow it up. They got to try to get rid of Zion, but I don't see anybody who is, going out there and, trying to get,
Zion.
I'd rather, there's people talk about like Anthony Davis probably being on the move, and I don't understand why anybody would, put their stock and their future in him. It's even more so with Zion. I would take a shot on Anthony Davis before I would take a shot on Zion.
Pardon me. I thought you were going to say Zion. I would definitely take Anthony Davis before Zion because, when they're at their best, Anthony Davis is better. That's just it.
He's
think
better,
so.
and as much as he is unavailable, he's available
more than Zion.
Yeah,
Right, and it's not the chuck wagon situation. It's a health situation. It's not an eating situation at all.
No,
Anthony
this is
Davis.
not that he's too fat.
No,
He's just
no.
oft injured, and it's been that way since college, man.
Yeah,
He started
unfortunately.
it started
But
to
I mean,
show
when
itself.
he's healthy, he's just one of the best players in the game. He's almost he's not Wemby, but Nick, he's almost unguardable when he's fully healthy. Yo, Nick, come on, man. He can hit the jumper. He goes to the hole. He blocks shots, rebounds.
Jumper's okay.
Nick,
Zion,
come on.
listen, I know. Look, Zion has definitely shown some flashes of being very dominant in some of the times where he has played. I just haven't seen him play 10 consecutive games in forever.
But
And,
he's only getting older, and as you get older, you don't jump higher or get slimmer.
or become
Unless
or
you're
become less apt to get or become less likely to be injured. That only increases with age.
I thought you were going to say, or become less likely to pull up to the buffet.
Nah, Zion, he seems like he's got that under control. He seemed like he came in good
But
shape
I'm
this year.
saying, though, that can slip.
Sure.
That can slip. And as you get older, you're a little more likely to slip.
Yeah. It was interesting to see OKC look mortal last night. They
Who?
OKC.
Oh, yeah. I mean, listen, it's got to end. I mean, you can't keep winning every game. So I kind of felt like they had a good chance of losing that game, especially since San Antonio had been playing that well. And, sometimes you need, it's hard to maintain that edge when you just keep winning. You have to have the fear of losing to spur you to keep that edge sometimes.
I feel like with OKC, that's been one of their strengths,
Right.
is like the ability to bring a certain level of intensity, especially on the defensive end, consistently. And you get Jalen Williams back. You and I, we had an interesting back and forth last night about who's the better player, Mitch or Hartenstein. I think.
Yeah, yeah. I said Mitch at first, but it's got to be Hartenstein.
It's got to be Hartenstein because he's still a really good offensive rebounder and defender. He might not be quite the level of Mitch, but he is, first of all, much more available. Second of all, offensively, it's not even close. I mean, and especially in this Mike Brown offense with catching the ball and being like a hub and making those passes, he would be very, very good at that.
And just the passing. He would
Just
be
the
part
passing.
of all the passing.
Yes.
Mitch
All the
isn't
stuff
part of the passing at all.
At all. And, it's a beautiful thing to watch Cat sometimes with some of these different passes that he's making. And your boy Bridges running the floor. He's like you said last night, he's like a gazelle.
Yeah.
And he runs the floor. He just rim runs a lot. And he ends up just like catching the ball and laying it up, 3 or 4 times a game, it feels
Cat's
like.
definitely worked on making his outlet game better.
Yeah, they say that
He stepped it up. Kevin Love.
Which Kevin Love is the guy. Who's the guy? Wes Unseld?
Wes Unseld. No one was better than Wes Unseld.
Yeah.
He was even better than Cat.
Yeah.
Better than Kevin Love.
Yeah,
Yes,
Kevin Love is excellent at it. I just feel like this Knicks team is continuing to grow. They're continuing to gel. The coach is figuring things out. He's still experimenting with new lineups. Like we saw a lineup last night of Jalen Brunson, Tyler Kolek, Bridges, Cat, and Mitch.
Yeah.
You never see nothing like that.
Yeah.
Last year. Never. This guy, you can tell, he doesn't have like these principles that he's dug into and he's just like, okay, well, these certain things need to be so. He's more so just like, hey, let's see what happens with this. And Tyler Golick recently has been showing all you got to do is throw him in a potential, trade or having a guy coming in and taking his minutes, and all of a sudden he's stepping up. He's looking a little more confident, going to the rack with that left hand, and he's a fantastic passer. But I like that he's being a little bit more aggressive when it comes to being in the paint and actually going up for the layup as opposed to trying to make the pass. He's shooting the three when he's open. He's hitting a few here and there, and he's turned up the defense. He has to be a pest.
Goes to the hole a little bit every now and then.
That's what I'm saying. He goes to the hole, gives you that lefty layup, but when he is somebody who is going to give you a couple impact plays in the defensive end,
Yeah,
that
makes a big
totally
difference.
changes everything for the type of player he can be in your rotation. And he's getting his opportunity now with Deuce out, with Shamit out, and he has to take advantage.
Yeah, and he is, for the most part, from what I've seen so far recently. He's been very much taking advantage. So I hope he keeps doing it, man. I like Kolek, and, listen, I hope they don't make this Alvarado trade that you're talking about. If they do, Kolek's out,
Yeah, I mean, talk about making an impact on defense. This guy Alvarado is a big time,
Right, he'll make a bunch
pick
of
you
greater
up
defense.
full
I'm
court, and I think that he's a better player than Kolek is right now. He is.
Right.
And, hey, at the end of the day, as we've seen, things are going to happen where guys are going to get opportunities, but having another player like Alvarado, if we're being realistic about the Alvarado thing, you got either Deuce or Mitch. I'm not trading either Deuce or Mitch for this guy.
No.
Okay, so I don't know exactly how they would try to make all that work if you get a third team involved.
Yeah,
I'm no capologist.
listen, if it's on right, you got to do it like something like with Kolek and Yabu. Jettison.
Yabu. Yo, put that cat in a cannon and fire him across the Hudson. Yo, Yabu, man, I'm sorry, brother, but it ain't it. You get in the game last night, and you get in the game on Saturday, and you immediately just fall asleep, and the guy cuts back door. And this is the thing, is that
easy peasy,
brother, you're not giving us nothing else where you can have those types of lapses, and you say, Josh Hart will have the occasional lapse, but you think about all the other things he does, and you're like, Yabu, you're not giving us anything, man. Yo, he's not giving us anything. And he was a guy that I really thought, listen, he shoots 40%. He's very good in transition.
I don't know what it is, man, but it just seems sometimes like some of these stats, man.
What do you mean, some of these stats?
I know they're real and all that, but it's like, this guy, wait, this guy shot 41?
I know. On like 3 or 4 attempts a game. It doesn't seem real.
It doesn't seem like it's ever been possible, but they're telling me it has. I believe the bean counters, but it's like, wow.
And all this stuff about him being like, this transition threat and all that. When the ball gets pushed ahead,
the transition threat is not happening, okay? Guys, not running out of... Come on, man. I'm sorry, man.
But I see videos of this guy block it. He blocked LeBron's shot. That's the thing. It seems as if right now he could never block LeBron's shot.
That was his Frederick Weiss moment.
It's the opposite.
That's what I mean.
So it'd be more like his Vince Carter moment.
Right. He just. Yeah, he's like he said, he is not it.
He's not it at all, man.
Yabu.
Yeah. Yabu Sile.
The Yabu experiment has not gone well.
No. We gotta, and that's the thing. I would love to, if you could move him for a play,
Yabu, man. Yabu, if you watching, man, I'm rooting for you, brother.
That's bullshit.
Come on, Yabu. Come on, Yabu.
No, you're not. When his name first got
Tuesday night.
You literally shot him away from the Knicks when his name first got mentioned. Just a little bit away, just a little bit ago. Yo, I take Precious over Yabu.
See, here we go with the Precious
You wouldn't
Hive.
take Precious over Yabu?
This Precious Hive has been something, man.
Yo, you're part of the Precious Hive many different times. You love Precious. And I would take Precious over Yabu right now. No
definitely
doubt.
take Precious over Yabu.
He's going to give you something. Yabu's not giving you anything. And Dad, I told you yesterday when we were watching the game, after he made that lapse on defense, I said, yo, there's a good chance we don't see him again for the rest of this game.
Yeah, we didn't see him again. No.
Go sit down.
Yeah.
Work on your clapping.
Yabu, he don't live here no more.
Killing us, man.
Yeah.
Killing us.
He may have to go.
But, hey, it's good to have this team, with all the expectations that they had going into this season. Obviously there's been games like, that one of the games against Orlando, the game against Boston, and some other games where, you're not happy, but 18-7. Can't nobody say they wouldn't have taken 18-7.
Right.
And now they got a chance to win the NBA Cup, the in-season tournament, whatever the fuck they're calling it these days. And I'm just, I'm excited.
Let's go.
All right. Should we go Jets or should we go Mets?
Go Jets. They're both going to go pretty pretty quickly, I'd say.
Pretty quickly. They're definitely not going
You
to
want
be.
reduce me to a puddle of tears.
Yeah, man. The New York Jets, they got waxed today. Brady
Well, I think
Cook,
the Jets warrant a sad trombone. It was a bad look today.
it was a bad look. You're getting a little bit better in deploying the sad trombone. That's for sure. You just need a little bit of time. Yeah, man. The Jets get waxed by the Jags. This guy Trevor Lawrence is just up and down the field, and ETN gets 4 receiving touchdowns, and it just guys are just wide open.
More wide open than I've ever seen before, even for the Jets, and more wide open than maybe I've ever seen in a pro football game. It was outrageous today how wide open guys are, and just consistently. And the guy I don't know the guy who was doing the color analyst, but he was amazed by it too. I mean, it was literally surreal. You put this guy, the kid quarterback who.
Brady Cook. He
played pretty well at times, but other times he looked terrible. I mean, he looked like a rookie, undrafted free agent. We're going to see more of him the next few weeks, so hopefully he can show us a little more. Today was nothing that makes you say, "Oh, we got something." Not at all.
No.
But he did some okay things.
After that first touchdown drive, there was a part of me that was
you're like, oh, maybe so. But then, you came back down to earth real quick. Like somebody shot like a dart into the balloon. Came right back down. Listen, the offensive line played well at times, not so well at other times. They blew it at times. Brees, well at times, not so good at other times. It's something I heard today that I wanted to mention when they said they were talking to Brees, and Brees said, I'm the best player on this team. I've got to lead this team and whatnot, and blah, blah, blah. He said that, and the commentators were talking about that.
He said, I didn't.
The commentators said he said that to him, and they said, well, yeah, he is the best player on the team and whatnot. I would never want any child, grandchild, or whatever player of mine. You never say things like that. I'm the best player on this team, and let other people say it about you.
Yeah, agreed.
You never say that about yourself.
I don't think it's true.
Who's the best player on the team right now? Garrett Wilson?
I definitely think
Brees is good, Nick.
I think Garrett Wilson is a better receiver than Brees is a running back. I think
people say you got to give Brees money to stay next year, and you're going to have to give him. You're going to have to either franchise him, which means a lot of money, or you're going to have to give him. I don't know what the going rate is now for a decent running back. Like 3 years, $13 million per.
I don't know
about all that, Nick. Sometimes I feel like, listen, you see, and that's what just it, Nick. There was a couple games ago where the Jets played pretty well and Brees played amazing. Where after that game, I was like, okay, this guy's just different. You got to give it to him. Yeah, he's got to stick around for whatever rookie quarterback we get.
Since his rookie season up until that injury, what we've seen from Brees over and over again is inconsistency. He doesn't have a ton of fumbles, but the couple fumbles he has are like, we're right back in the game and we got a chance, and now this is the time you decide to fumble.
Right.
And overall, I think sometimes he bounces it outside too much, and he doesn't get to that corner and ends up losing yards. And I think that he just hasn't been – he's not spectacular.
I don't think he's spectacular, Nick. I think he's pretty good. I think but now listen to him.
I don't think we're in the position to pay a running back big money. We're gonna have like over $50 million in dead cap just for the quarterback position next year.
Right, but we're gonna be cheap on the quarterback, and that's fine. But we're
gonna be cheap on the guy. The guy who we have is going to cost. Is not going to be very expensive, but overall, as far as what we're paying that position, we're not going to be cheap.
Right, but I just don't think. I don't know if right now is the time to be paying Brees big. I mean, listen, I don't know, Nick. I don't know. It depends on what you can give him to stay. I would like to have a very good running back behind. Listen, in years before this, he didn't have as good an offensive line. Now he has a better offensive line, and he's still been very inconsistent. I also think the offensive line has been somewhat inconsistent this year. I don't think they're just great and just opening big holes all the time.
The whole offensive line, other than Simpson, is going to be back next year.
Right.
I love that type of continuity.
And they're gonna be better. Yeah, Simpson's gonna be gone, and I'm good with that. Simpson's good, but sometimes he gets on my nerves and he does stupid shit.
Yeah, he gets a stupid penalty here and there every once
Right.
in
He
a while.
hasn't in the last couple of weeks, but he's gotten some of the worst penalties this season were on him. But and I mean he's good, and he's gotten beaten. Quite a few times when I've seen.
Yeah.
It's
And
not just that.
nobody's been perfect.
We can upgrade that position.
Fashanu and Membu have both been very good, but they have also, had their times where
Youthful mistakes.
their mistakes have totally blown up a play. That 4th and 1 at the beginning of the game. I personally I understand Aaron Glenn just saying like, hey, we're past the 40, 4th and 1. Hey, it's early in the game. We're 3 and 7. Hey, go for it. I hate the play call though, where you run a play where a guy is running parallel to the line of scrimmage as he gets the ball. But as you said, I think you said it was Membu.
Membu missed his block. His guy came right inside of him, and Membu just totally whiffed on his block. And that's the guy who made the tackle. Which, by the way, he actually made the tackle by grabbing Brees' wrist and then just tripping him up on the ankle. I mean, literally, Nick, if he doesn't do that, Brees gets at least 2 or 3 yards. Okay?
No, see, that part I disagree with. I think there was because I remember as Brees was coming. I was like, Brees is gonna. I was like, I remember thinking in the moment that even if he breaks his tackle, it's gonna be tough.
Brees had the angle, and Brees has a deceptive speed at the time.
Yeah,
I think he would have gotten it
until somebody grabs his wrist.
Right. That really frustrated me. But Brees, I just. There were times during this game that I felt like you've got, and with every player, I mean, the numbers game is you have to make one guy miss.
Right.
And there are times when Brees just didn't do that. There were a couple times when he did, but more often than not, I didn't feel like he did that. And I feel like there's been too many times where he doesn't necessarily do that. I don't know that Brees is a guy that you need to go all out for. I think there are good young running backs available all the time. You just have to do a really good job of scouting. And I don't know, man. I don't know if Brees has wowed me enough that I want to give him a 3-year contract right now.
Yeah, I mean, the difference between him and like an Isaiah Davis is it's not large enough for us to just like go out and be like, yo, we got to give this guy big money. And defensively, we were getting zero pressure.
Zero pressure, man.
Listen, Will McDonald is a good situational pass rush defensive end. He's not some great defensive end. He's not.
Man,
he's just not.
I mean, he's good, and there are times when you say you can't single team that guy and block him, but there are times when you can.
He's not.
There's some games where he's only getting one guy blocking him, and you don't hear from him all game.
And Aaron Glenn talked about how, it's all about like coaching with him and, we're teaching him how to set the edge. He doesn't set the edge. He's not good at that. He's just not good at it. Like
so
I said,
Jermaine Johnson is more of a guy you're going to invest in than Will McDonald.
I just think you have to invest in them appropriately. I think that...
Well, they both might want the big money after this year, right?
I don't think anybody's giving them big money after this year.
Right. You might be able to get...
After the tape that they put out there this season, I don't think either of them are getting big money. I think that Will McDonald has shown himself to be a situational pass rusher, and Jermaine Johnson has shown himself to be like a solid defensive end, but he's no game wrecker. I mean, he's not doesn't have like impressive sack numbers or anything like that. Right. He's a little bit better at setting the edge, and he's definitely solid. I think he's an above average defensive end, but at the end of the day, I don't think either of those guys are, studs at their position where you're going to have to pay them huge money. And I don't think anybody else is going to feel that way about them either. But one thing I do think is that Steve Wilkes has to go. And I think that Aaron Glenn, it's somewhat alarming that him as a defensive coach, that his defense looked the way that it did today, where they're getting no pressure and guys are just wide open. And it seems like the other team is like totally just like schemed up like, hey, if we do this, this, and this, these guys are going to be wide open. And we can't make an adjustment. And this guy, Trevor Lawrence, your boy Sunshine, is just picking us apart all day.
No adjustments made today whatsoever. I do think that Aaron Glenn has been loyal to a fault to Steve Wilkes. He doesn't want to just I get it, not wanting to just go in there and take over, especially with 4 or 5 games left. But you may have to do some things just for the fact that guys, I think part of it's that some of the guys playing are just not very good. Okay, and there's been really poor tackling.
We also just lost to AZ as well.
Right. Really poor tackling of late. And, I mean, some of these guys are right. Like with AZ out, Quantez Stigger's in there. He's not very good. You put him in positions, he gets exposed. But we do need to put more pressure on the quarterback. But, I mean, more than anything, like you said, Nick, I was the guy that I don't believe in making a lot of changes mid-season unless, like, the team is so good and you have to tweak it or whatever. But I think Steve Wilkes has shown that he's not the guy. And he's got to go. I stick with Engstrand, but I got to get rid of Wilkes.
Engstrand, there's times where I feel like, he's great or at least doing a good job. And there's other times where, like I said, that 4th and 1 call, I hate that call. I don't care.
So what would you rather, to dive into the line?
No, honestly, it was a long one. I would have actually rather like a pass. The thing is
pass?
That, yeah, just for the simple fact that like a play action roll out and then he can run or he can pass type situation. Just because earlier in the game, there's certain games where the Jets, especially early in games, have come out and the offensive line is getting a good push and we're just running the ball. If it's looking like that, then let's go. But I remember when they were coming up to the line of scrimmage there, I was like, it's a long one. And, it's not like our offensive line has was just moving them around or whatnot. And I feel like they're going to sell out for the run right now. This is the time to, do the play action and, just throw it right over their head, right to somebody who's open for the short gain, but the first down. But who knows, man, obviously.
Yeah.
But one thing, if you are going to run the ball, I do believe that you should be running the ball towards the line of scrimmage.
I believe that for the most part, Nick, but we were getting no push in the middle of the line. We were really doing bad in the first in the inside gaps.
I'd even take a sweep over that. Just something
that
where
was
no,
but he pitched it right out to him.
Okay, but when a sweep you catch when you get the ball get thrown to you, you're going at least you're going out, but you're going toward. He was literally going like this when he got that ball. He's going like this. He's supposed to go all the way and then turn up. I don't think that's
smart. He can
smart.
turn it wherever he wants.
Okay,
and it was blocked enough that if that one guy doesn't get him from the inside, he can cut up sooner.
I think that, like I said, I saw other guys in that play that even if that one guy didn't get to him, when he got that ball, his shoulders were facing out of bounds. They weren't. He was not going this way in any way, shape, or form. I don't believe in that on 4th and 1. If you're going to run the ball, then don't get cute with it. Then feel like you're just going to go out here and you're going to beat them. And if you don't feel that way, then I believe that, you should play action and throw a pass and give this guy, like I said, a rollout where he can run because Brady Cook can run. It was great seeing his family's reaction when he got
that was cool.
when he got that first touchdown. That was pretty much the highlight of the game for the Jets.
They
got a takeaway. They got a takeaway, which,
Right, really. Amazing.
That's what I'm saying, man. If you're Aaron Glenn and, you're a defensive coach and now you come over here and this defense sucks and they cannot, and he talked so much about how taking the ball away was part of his philosophy and that's what we're going to do and what we're going to put our players in position to do. And we're going to run the ball and be a certain type of team. We're none of those things.
Yeah, but Nick, you see, Nick, for 5 games, everybody was saying we're becoming those things and we're doing these things. And yeah, the last 2 games we sucked. That's true. Yeah. But I don't see where I mean, that doesn't mean that the 5 games before didn't exist, and they did exist, and we played well. We haven't played well the last 2 games. I don't know why we're inconsistent, but we were running the ball better. We were playing better defense. Now, I don't believe that this gives all gives Wilkes a reprieve. But I also understand Aaron Glenn feeling like, maybe we're figuring this out. Maybe he's figuring this out. And what he's seen the last 2 games makes him feel like maybe he's not figuring this out.
Yeah,
this guy's got to go.
And that's basically you just characterize how I feel about Aaron Glenn. I was thinking maybe he's figuring this out.
Right.
But
we're not
having
sure.
a 5-game span where you win 3 games, when you immediately follow it up with 2 stinkers where you get dominated and embarrassed.
Yeah.
It kind of does make that those 5 games.
I think the worst part of where we got dominated in both these games was defensively. I mean, we just got rammed. run over early on. It just ruined the game for everything. In the game of football, if you can't stop anything like that defensively, the game is just over.
Yeah.
And this was not good. It's not good.
Not good. Chiefs dynasty is over. They're gonna miss the playoffs.
What's his name got hurt, huh?
Who?
You didn't see that, Mahomes?
Mahomes
got carried off.
Yeah.
He's limping down the hallway. They're on the guy's shoulders. Yeah, he's done. So well, I mean, is the dynasty over? Could they win again next year? You never know.
Yeah,
Kelsey's out, I think, but
it doesn't look good. And it's just always crazy how quickly and how hard some of these teams fall off. How hard it is to do what they just did and be that consistently good for so many years. How many teams get to a Super Bowl and then don't make the playoffs the next year? And the Eagles not looking great either.
That's right.
And
the NFL, man. I mean, dude, I say this all the time. The difference between the best and the worst is really not as much as people think. And any game you go into, if you're not playing the way you need to, you could lose in the NFL. It's not, you're not. There really aren't any sisters of the poor, except for the Jets. No, seriously though. But seriously though, I mean, we're gonna see, man. We gotta play New Orleans.
Got to play New Orleans. They just beat the Bucks last week.
They're gonna beat us. They could beat us.
Yeah, I think.
I mean, this guy Tyler Shook is playing very well. I've heard.
Where's the game? Do you know?
I don't know. I don't know. I didn't know.
Yeah, no, it's I think they will. And honestly, hey man,
at this point, I'd like to see Brady Cook play well. I'd like to see us win just to win, but I'm not broken up. I just want to see us play well.
I just want to see us play well, and I will never be a person that will root for us to lose, like in a game. I'm never going to be that. But honestly, just overall, if I'm being honest, it's best that we lose out. Just as far as the draft situation.
And you want Mendoza?
I love Mendoza.
Hey, Nick,
big strong kid. You were all about him until his post game interview. You didn't like his interview.
Nah, I was joking around about that. He seems like a good kid, bright kid, very smart. I love the family support for him too when he did well. And like he spoke to his grandparents in Spanish. And they were all crying and everything, abuela and abuelita, and it was fantastic. I just felt good for him, and it's good to see a program that has been so moribund for so long come back up and get these accolades, and make some people happy. But I like his game, man. I like his game a lot. He's good, man. So, you got to hope that Tennessee gets the top pick. Right now it's Tennessee, right?
Yeah.
Or the Giants, right behind them.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Neither of those teams need a quarterback. There's no reason either of those teams will take a quarterback. Right?
Nope.
So what do you have to give them? Like if we have, because right now we have like the third or fourth pick.
It depends.
It's not like we're that bad. We're not like we're seventh.
Right. That's the thing.
See what I'm saying?
If you have the seventh pick, it's a whole different thing. If you have the third pick, then you really just got to give them like one extra first, I think.
Right. The third or fourth pick. We give him one extra first, one of them stupid picks we got.
Right.
Boom. That's a no-brainer. For this guy, he's got the prototype body. He seems smart. He makes big plays at big times, man. The games I've seen him play, I mean, come on, man. He's made some really big plays at big times against big-time teams.
Yeah.
Okay? Against the best. I'll be very interested to see him in this postseason now. That'll tell you something, too.
Yeah, it will be, very interesting to see how he performs. I mean, I thought that Ohio State game, the Big Ten Championship, showed me a lot.
Yeah.
He becomes the first Indiana Hoosier to ever win the Heisman Trophy.
But he's going to have to play the winner of Alabama-Oklahoma, right? Is it? I think so. It's Alabama and somebody. It's going to be against an SEC team.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a test too, man. Alabama-Georgia.
Did you think that Notre Dame got robbed?
I think they got burned simply because of other teams like.
I don't think Bama should have made it before that.
Right, Bama wasn't
negative rushing yards in that game against Georgia.
Yeah. Bama stunk it up against Georgia in that game. I don't think they should have made it, but why did they put Bama in there? Because it's another SEC team, and Notre Dame also gets burned. Some people explain it because they refuse to get into a league.
Get into a conference.
If they're in a conference, they would have won their conference. They'd be in it.
Right.
They want to stay out of it because they make more money staying out of it. So, okay, you stay out of it, but on a rare occasion, you get burned. They do everything to make sure Notre Dame's in it every year, Nick. This year, it didn't work out because of extenuating circumstance.
Yeah,
You know?
but they lost to Miami early, and then they had.
You couldn't put them in over Miami just because of that, right?
No,
that's not fair.
Head to head has to matter,
right?
But,
and then their schedule after that sucks, Nick.
Right, their schedule is too weak. The schedule's too weak.
But
I thought that they should have made it over Alabama personally.
I agree with that.
But they say that they don't like to penalize teams
for playing in the championship
conference championship game.
Isn't that right?
Listen, I think how you play in that game, if you have negative rushing yards and you get waxed like that, I think that should matter.
Then maybe you don't do that. Right. But I get it.
You're
you
right.
don't want to punish them.
It is them versus Oklahoma.
Georgia, Oklahoma.
Yeah, and IU gets
right. The winner of that game gets IU. Now let's see you against them boys, okay? Because even if it's Bama, which I really doubt it's going to be, even if it's Bama, that's Bama, man. But it's going to be Georgia, Nick, and Georgia.
No, not Georgia, Oklahoma.
Oh, Oklahoma. Yeah, Oklahoma is very good too, man.
Yeah.
They're good. They're tough. Either of those teams, look, they beat Ohio State, so you got to give them that. But besides Ohio State, who did Indiana play that has a more, I think, probably, and I'm not sure about this, but fearsome defense than Alabama or Oklahoma?
Nobody.
You know what I'm saying?
Nobody.
So he's going against them boys now, them SEC boys now. Let's see what you got now, bro, because you're going to catch some in the mouth.
As I always say, there's going to be a couple dudes with dreads halfway down their back on the field.
And listen, he got hit in the mouth. First play of the game against Ohio State. Rocked.
Didn't see it coming, got smacked.
Little bro came in after one play. He was like, okay, little bro, I got this.
I know. That's cool that his little brother is his backup. That's awesome.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
It'll be interesting. But back to the Jets. They finish up the season. They do go to New Orleans. And then they got New England and they got Buffalo, which those two teams in their game today, Buffalo goes ahead and gets the win. New England was looking to win the division for the first time in the last 5 years, and Buffalo gets the win. Buffalo, they've had their issues, their ups and downs this season.
Defense is shaky.
It is. But everybody's been saying that New England's the best team in the league, and they just went out and beat New England. So they're definitely still an actual and a serious threat in the AFC, and all these teams that can never get past Mahomes ain't gonna have to worry about it.
That's right. If I got to choose one of those two, simply because I'm not a New England guy, I got to go Buffalo. I'd rather see Josh Allen get it done after all these years.
You're saying who you think is better or who you'd rather see win?
I think Buffalo is better just because of Josh Allen.
I don't know, man.
But I don't know.
Drake May's pretty good.
Yeah, but Buffalo's defense makes me nervous.
Yeah.
But Josh Allen's Superman, dude. He's flipping Superman, dude. Don't let it be snowing. Okay? Because that dude comes alive, man. As soon as he sees it falling from the sky.
I was watching the Jet game, so I didn't watch much of that game today. I watched the last couple minutes, basically that last drive that New England had where they got stopped, and then on the 4th and 5. And I do think that they are a more complete team. And I think that Drake May is playing as good as any quarterback in the NFL this season.
Really
Many people say that he's the front runner for MVP.
Yeah.
So I think that in a playoff game, I would lean towards New England, especially since they'll probably be playing at home. But, like you said, at the end of the day, the best player in big moments on the field, if those two teams meet, I still got to go with Josh Allen.
Yeah.
And so I do think that gives them the advantage. Anything else going on in the NFL? The Eagles continue to free fall.
Right.
They're struggling, man. It's not looking good for them. A.J. Brown is getting catches now, but they can't win. Your boy Jalen Hurts, 2 turnovers in one play. I ain't never seen that shit.
Yeah, he's had some tough moments. He's had some tough moments, but I still think they're pretty good. But I don't think they're going to go all the way this year. I mean, they're just not.
You can't, they lose, one to injury, and then they also lose Mekhi Becton to free agency. And your offensive line is not dominant anymore, and that's the thing that made your team otherworldly was your dominant offensive line.
I haven't heard anything from A.J. Brown.
No, he's been catching the ball more,
I know.
But they're losing.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. That's the point, AJ. That's not the end all be all to everything. Is getting you the ball. You know what I mean? You can still lose.
Of course.
But all I'm saying is, dude, everything that he said could have been said in house. That's just my
of course, always. Did you
Pipe
see
down.
the ring camera footage of the Eagles fan having the cop come to his house because somebody called the cops because of some of the posts he made, on the internet? They sent the cops over to his house to do like a wellness check.
No, because he was saying he was despondent about.
Yeah, it's very funny.
So stupid.
Yeah, man, it's we're going to see a bit of a changing of the guard this year in football, and I think that's always somewhat exciting.
Good. It's
and
healthy.
Hopefully someday the Jets will be in that conversation. Someday.
Gonna happen.
All right, let's talk a little Mets, man. David Stearns, the boy genius. His thoughts clearly are that the Mets need a shakeup. Edwin Diaz signs with the Dodgers.
God.
That one. It seems like Diaz, if the money was similar, wanted to go play for the Dodgers. He wanted the chance to win. He said as much. I get that, and I wish he didn't say it, but hey, if his goal is to win a World Series, you can't argue with his decision to go to the Dodgers. Now, I like my players that like to, get it done with their own guys. But when you talk about your own guys, there is nobody who is more our guy than Pete Alonso. And Pete Alonso, he signs with the Orioles, 5 years, 155, and he is going to be wearing orange, but it's going to be orange and black and not orange and blue. And the Mets see their greatest power hitter of all time, a homegrown talent, go down I-95 to Baltimore. And the reports are that the Mets never even made a formal offer. That they saw the market going to a place where they were unwilling to go and never made a formal offer. Talk to me, big guy. How are you feeling now that, Sugar, Nimmo, and Pete will all not be New York Mets next year?
The Sugar thing, I think, was stupid, obviously, because he's the best, I thought, closer in baseball last year. Except for this guy Suarez, who just got signed somewhere else, maybe, right? Who had 40 saves last year. Anyway.
Yeah, he went to Atlanta.
Right. Anyway, the Sugar thing is infuriating because that's $3 million. I feel like, a guy like Sugar, if they're offering him 69 for 3 years, you should, okay, Sugar, let's just stop the bullshit. Here's $75 million. Come on, let's stop the bullshit. Just go, let's go away.
You want to up it because he's already got the highest AAV of any.
Like you always say, it's a non
salary cap sport.
Non-salary cap. Our guy's supposed to have the money. I thought that's what this was about. Also, then you look at the Alonso thing. Pete Alonso. I don't really get it because I say like this. Even if you didn't want to give Pete Alonso 5 years, right? Because you're afraid, again, if you got that kind of money and the last year or year and a half of that contract is an albatross, oh well. I don't know how you make up that production, but if you think somebody else is going to be that much better at first base, you see, and I get it, like some people feel like Pete, maybe he's not clutch. He's had a couple clutch home runs, but...
he had the most clutch home run in Mets history.
Right, and he had over 40 doubles. It's a little hard, but, Pete was, he really did have high moments during the season. And then, he really, he wasn't consistent throughout.
That's baseball.
Right?
That's exactly. Baseball. At the end of the year, you look up, he's hitting in the 270s,
right.
Or if not, it was very high 260s. And then, he's got 40 and 120. Come on, man.
Right.
I
don't know how you replace that. And I just feel like...
How many times is Juan Soto going to get walked next year?
Right. Who are you putting behind this guy? And, the thing with Pete is, Nick, like I say, if they're offering him 5 years, 155, so it's $31 million a year. if you don't want to go to 5 years, if you had just said to Pete, here's 4 years,
35.
140, 35 a year. 4 years, 140, Pete. We really want you to come back.
I think
you
that
want
gets
to
it
tell
done.
me Pete doesn't say, for that one extra, I'm going back to New York. You know what I mean?
Gets it done. I think that gets it done.
It's absolute bullshit to say to me that you didn't make an offer. That's insane.
And you know what? I think what it comes down
You
to
don't
is
want
this
that guy?
guy, Stearns, is like, okay, for a player of his caliber at his age, with this is what should be. It should be no more than this many years. It should be no more than this AAV. And sometimes you have to throw all that shit out the window. It has to be part of your overall process. But you got to take the overall temperature of the fans.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously, that can't
And
be
who this
the
person
end all
is to
be
the
all.
organization.
Exactly.
It can't
man.
all be analytical, cold analytical, like cyborg bullshit. There's an emotional aspect of the game and your fan base. And I'm not saying that you just have to totally give in to the fans and whatnot. I understand the Nimmo move. I get it. Okay, I could see it. But a guy like Pete, and again, like even if say we'd put the 140 on the table or something, and Pete took the money, I would have been bummed, but I'd have probably been pissed. I still would have felt better than to hear no offer was made.
I think that you maybe do that as a negotiation, but if they come back and he says, listen, they're trying to do 5 for 155, you got to say, hey, all right, we'll give you 5 for 155. At the end of the day, I think that you give him that as opposed to watch him walk out the door. I think
you should too, but I can live with it more if you actually made that 140 offer. If you made an offer, I can't deal with no offer was made. I don't get that.
I don't think if you're the Mets you can be outbid in this situation. I really don't.
But I can see it being the Mets saying we're not being outbid. We're offering you better AAV, but we don't want to give you 5 years.
Listen, I don't care.
Let's do it, Pete.
Even if another team doesn't want to. Listen, I mean, the Phillies brought back Schwarber on 5 years.
You're not hearing me. I have no problem if the Mets offer him that. What I have a problem is them offering him nothing.
Okay,
not putting an offer on the table.
You're not hearing me. I'm saying that even if you put an offer on the table, at the end of the day, I don't care what the numbers of the years are. You cannot be outbid on this guy.
I get that.
Period. You cannot be outbid on this guy, period. You have to do whatever it takes. Sure, offer him the 4. Offer him something. I'd love for them to offer him anything as opposed to nothing. But at the end of the day, no matter what, you can't lose him under any circumstances. If another team was willing to give him 6 years and more money, then that's what the market is.
I think
you pay whatever the market is for this guy because you are the team with the biggest and most, the most, the richest owner in sports, the guy who is a fan of the team, and if you're trying to go for it right now, it's just the optics are beyond horrible, and I thought that shit like this happening was never going to happen to us again.
Well, but then again, what I'm saying here, Nick, is I agree with you that they shouldn't have been out. They could not be outbid for this guy. I think that's an egregious malpractice. I think the only worst malpractice is not being outbid because they didn't bid, and I don't understand that. But unless Nick, this is the only thing that makes sense, and it's real. Unless you just don't think you don't want him on your team. Which is amazing.
I think that's clear, Dad.
That's what I'm saying to you, Nick. It's like once his contract was over, you're like, oh, whew. Okay, Pete, I'll see you later. Thank goodness we don't have to pay that guy anymore.
I think that's clear.
What is that?
I think that Stearns has an emphasis on defense. And hey, listen, the Mets got a lot better.
It's not like Pete's an absolute disaster at first base. I don't think he's that bad.
He's pretty bad.
I don't think he was that bad.
He's good at picking the ball. He's not. He's bad at everything else. His range, his ability to field the ball, his throwing ability. I mean, come on, man. I mean, no. I mean, listen. The numbers. This is one of those things where it's not something where the numbers say one thing, but the eye test says different. Baseball and your ability to field is extremely quantifiable. It just is, especially modern day with some of the different ways that they can measure your range and things like that. And no, he's not a good defender. Look, I think that if we would have signed this guy Jorge Polanco but we still had Pete, I'm like, Pete's gonna be playing a lot of DH now. Polanco's going to be a better first baseman than him. Defensively, when you add in Simeon and you add in Polanco, we have now just become a much better defensive team. Absolutely. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. But I don't think that you can discount what this means to just Mets fans like me, you, my son, who are all just crestfallen by the idea that Pete Alonso is no longer on the team. I have a iguana at home named Alonso. What happens with that now? Like, this is a disaster, man. Like,
yeah, stop the presses. The iguana's named Alonso. What now?
What now?
Right.
This is brutal, man. It's really, really brutal. And I mean, the Sugar thing, it seems like we were close in money. Sometimes, especially if the other option is the better option, you have to come over the top and
and I
offer
also
them more
feel
money.
like with the Sugar thing, we were close to money, but I almost feel like that was just an offer for show. We didn't really want him back either. Otherwise, Nick, maybe. First of all, otherwise, maybe during the season, Nick, he's doing so well, maybe during the season you get some negotiations going. Secondly, after the season, like I'm hearing word like Sugar's like, yeah, nobody said anything to me about anything. I'm not saying you got to talk to this guy about bringing in Devin Williams, which wouldn't have been a terrible thing to do, to say, hey, man, we're thinking about bringing him in eighth, ninth inning combo. What do you think? Sound good? Yeah, okay, we'll be calling you next week to figure it out. It sounds to me like they did none of that.
None of that.
And then they said, okay, 3 years, 66. Oh, you got to offer at 69. Oh, that's a shame. All right, see you, Sugar. Take your trumpets and leave. Walk out the door. Well, what? I mean, I don't understand. He doesn't like these guys.
Like we said with Brunson earlier, for great players, you have to make concessions and you have to go above and beyond. And you have to, sometimes just treat them a little bit differently, and you have to involve them in the process, and you have to have a consistent dialogue. That's the thing that I don't feel like happened with either Pete or with Sugar. There's no consistent dialogue back and forth. There's no, hey, listen, at the end of the day, we want you back. We want to make this work. There's more just like, listen, this is the money. These are the years.
Right. Very cold, very austere, which flies totally in the face of what we did for Soto. So now, are you pissing off some guys? I've heard some people float the thing that, like with a guy like Sugar, I've been here 5 years. I've been through the wars with you guys, up and down. People love me, blah, 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 la, la, la. You went over and above schmoozing this guy, basically, giving him rub downs, and now with me, hey, I'm over here. You act like I don't exist. What? I mean, that can maybe, torque a guy off a little bit. What I'm saying,
Torque a guy off? I've never heard that, but I think it's definitely in need of a major pause.
No, it's not pause like that. You see, you're going all Diddy and shit. Listen, I think that it could piss him off, and I think that he's got to. I think Stearns might have to change his way, man. I see a lot of people talking about, they were getting really annoyed with Stearns and that consistent smirk and the quarter zip. I've heard some people speak about the fact that he has a very punchable face. I'm just saying. Okay, so, yeah, there's a lot of that going around.
I'm telling you, man, this guy Stearns, he's
got a short leash this year.
He's public enemy number one already.
Right now. He's made this year a make-or-break year. Otherwise, they got bonfires out at Shea Stadium. And they're saying there's no way does Cohen and Stearns show up at Mets Fan Day or whatever they did the thing. Last year they booed him so hard. That's why they say he went and said, Pete, come on, let's go. Let's get it figured out.
Yeah.
Are they going to step up there this year? Can you imagine how he's going to get ripped if he's
ripped?
I don't think he steps in front of the crowd this year.
I don't think that's smart. I don't think that's smart. And really, I mean,
stay low.
But no, you need the season to start off and go well. I mean, I'm not going into this season with any sort of excitement. And that's the thing. Man. This team there's been many years where the team has given me no reason to be excited, but yet every year at the beginning of the season, I'm like, hey, if this happens or that happens, I'm going into it with like a very just like skeptical, like, we'll see.
You're going to have McClain, you're going to have Bengie.
Sure. All of those things.
Is Luis Angel Acuna even in the mix anymore? You're gonna have Beatty at third base. What's happening with our man Vientos? Is he just DH?
Oh, Vientos?
Him and this guy Polanco are going to switch off at first base and DH.
I guess so. But then
Yeah.
what about Squirrel? Because I've heard
Squirrel's
Squirrel.
got to go. Squirrel's got to go.
I've heard Squirrel
Squirrel's
might
got
be
to go.
somebody who is an option as a platoon with first base. Because
got
I mean, you got Simeon as your everyday second baseman now.
You
and,
send,
you're not-
Squirrel to like Minnesota for like
There's
a
still
bag of chips.
so many holes to be like filled, and I don't know how we're going to do it. We still need a center fielder. Like
This guy seems very cool and calm, like he's got something worked out. Maybe he's going after one of these Japanese guys. That's what I'm thinking. One of the Japanese guys.
okay,
That could be a big. I'm saying get the Japanese position player and a pitcher. Let's go. Boom, boom.
I know, but I don't see us getting this first baseman now because you just went out and spent $20 million per year for the next 2 years on this guy Polanco. And he's going to be a Polanco's played all over the infield, but I don't see him.
Where's he going to go then? Then Beatty's out.
Exactly. And
This guy Stearns already endorsed Beatty.
Yeah, I like Beatty. I think
I like
Beatty
Beatty.
could be our third baseman in the future. I really do. I
do.
think that consistent playing time, this will be a real make or break year for him. We'll see if he can take that little jump or if, he regresses like Vientos did. But, we still need another.
I still like Vientos.
Vientos was very shaky last season.
Yeah.
And he is a DH. He can't field.
Yeah.
And if he's going to be a DH, he needs to become a much better hitter. I mean, just plain and simple. He had couple seasons ago,
I think
he had that playoff run.
In the winter leagues.
Yeah, okay. He needs to be doing something, man, because he's not a fucking third baseman. He's not a major league third baseman. He's not. Plain and simple. And David Stearns, I mean, I think this could be a thing where if Sugar and Alonso are both like killing it.
Oh my God.
And the Mets suck.
Oh my God. Yeah. Then the Heat's gonna get real hot. Yeah.
We thought this guy was the boy wonder not too long ago. And if Devin Smith is not doing his thing,
like Robin. What?
If Devin Smith isn't any good, because now it just seems like you want to go and you want to get your former Milwaukee guys. I've seen a lot of people talk about how the Mets love like a Yankees retread. That's the stupidest shit I've ever heard. The list of former Mets who have went over to the Yankees is ridiculous. But I mean Bellinger, shit, I'd be happy. All of these guys that we're talking about, I wanted us to get all of these guys in addition to Sugar and Pete.
Right.
So now we're trying to make up.
Well, clearly he wants to change that whole core, Nick. He wants to shake that up. He feels like, listen, over the last 5-6 years with this core, we made the playoffs twice and squeaked in one time. And, the other times we've had terrible collapses. I mean, that's the truth. I've seen this written and it is true, but... a
lot of people will say that the reason that we fell short last year
is because of shitty starting pitching.
Exactly.
Right. I get it, Nick. I get it.
You want to invest in Frankie Montas.
It's the last 5 or 6 years. I mean, look, Nick. We've made the playoffs twice in the last 6 years. That's bullshit. That sucks.
Yeah, it does.
With Pete, with Nimmo, with all these guys. I've heard some people talk about. See, I hate this shit. Oh, it's obvious now that it's all Soto. He ruined the clubhouse. That's bullshit. Okay, I don't believe that at all. Or maybe Lindor. Like I've heard some people say that the reason they didn't name Lindor captain last year because it would have pissed Nimmo off.
I've heard that.
That could be true.
I see that.
That could be true.
And if you're just trying to get like a whole culture change, listen, getting rid of Nimmo and Alonso is about the most drastic thing you can do.
Change you can.
That's going to definitely there's going to be a culture change.
He had problems with this culture. He wanted to change this culture, and I don't know
I have
why.
a hard time
I don't
believing
know.
that Nimmo was so detrimental to the clubhouse.
I don't know how he feels that this culture isn't right.
And especially Alonso, friggin', the guy who's always stepping
Rah-Rah.
up. Mr. Rah-Rah.
Teams seem to rally around him.
Yeah, man. I
have a hard time understanding that, Nick, but he clearly very much wants to change this team's culture. That's obvious, and I don't know. And also, Nick, listen.
It's bullshit.
Hold on. How about with your man Soto? Is Soto happy right now? Is Soto happy? Soto said he wanted
Alonso last year because he wanted the protection in the lineup.
But of course, you're going to say that he's your teammate, right?
No, but they say that during his negotiations, he was like, "What are y'all doing with Pete?"
Then it's even more unbelievable, Nick. You cannot tell me. And see, the other thing is, Okay, first of all, I think him and Lindor got along. I don't see any way him and Lindor don't like each other. They
Lindor
seem
and Pete.
to love. Yes, they love each other.
Seems so.
So if you're telling me Lindor and Soto like this guy, and you let him walk out the door without an offer, what the fuck? I don't understand. You have to take that into consideration if you're not taking the fans, anything. You're only looking at analytics. You're not even taking. So now you're not even taking in consideration the clubhouse at all.
I mean, this guy Stearns, he went from boy wonder to boy blunder in no time. I mean, it's a really
very disconcerting,
really disappointing and weird offseason. And you know what? If the Mets come out and all of a sudden they look like this, well-constructed, scrappy team, we still got more moves to make. We still need a top-of-the-line starting pitcher. Obviously, we got
we bring up some of these rookies, and they're not going to cover up, and they're doing really well. You say then, okay, well, this guy, he saw something, he knew something.
Yeah, he saw what we had,
really
and he made a move. Hey, as I always say, I need these people to be smarter than me, and I hope this is one of those times where we can look back on it and say, hey, he was smarter than me. But I'm sorry, no one's going to explain to me how losing Pete Alonso made sense.
Met fans are just waiting to say, I told you, this guy sucks. Get him out of here. He ruined the team. He got rid of Peter. Because, listen, Nick, like you said,
don't think you can make that knee-jerk remove if you're Cohen at this point. I think that Cohen basically has to, see this through. Can
at
we
least
please,
next season,
not just next season, I feel like almost for the next couple of years, because now when you're making all these big wholesale changes, you almost have to kind of see, this next plan, mature. And I would love to get a microphone in front of Steve Cohen right now. I'd love to get a microphone in front of him and ask him some questions, because he is not somebody who's just going to give you a bunch of platitudes and no. He's going to give you a little bit more authenticity than that, a little bit more just overall transparency than that. And before it's going to happen at some point. And I'll be very interested to see it when it does happen.
Stearns is clearly going to have to get in front of the press at least once before the season, and so will Cohen.
Last year, Jorge Polanco, he had a 2.6 WAR. He had 26 home runs, 265 batting average, 78 ribbies,
numbers aren't bad,
and an 821 OPS. Exactly, he would be a great guy to add to the lineup. He is not a replacement for Pete Alonso, and it's just going to be, like I said, one of the least anticipated seasons. I mean,
but you know what, Nick? The other thing I think about is this. Stearns must have serious conviction in how he feels, because the easiest thing for him to do would have been to bring back those two guys.
Right.
And I don't think if he went to Steve Cohen and he made the case that we need to give this guy 75 and this guy 5 years, I don't think Steve Cohen would have been like, no way. He would have done it.
Sure.
The only reason he didn't do it because this guy was adamant that they shouldn't.
You're right.
So it's all on him, Nick. It's all on him. It is
really
all on him. And listen, if you're him, as far as just job preservation, that would have been the smart thing to do. Just bring the guys back for his own personal job preservation.
You're right.
Him doing what he does is ballsy and it's conviction, but he better be right.
Catch us every week on YouTube or wherever you find your podcasts. Please follow, like, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you hit that notification button on all platforms. Really appreciate all the love. You can find us on all socials at Independent Nick. That's Independent N.I.C. Love you, big guy.
Love you, kid.